各位记者朋友，大家下午。
Friends from the media, good afternoon. Welcome to the press conference. Today, I have a message to release. At the invitation of Premier Li Qiang of the State Council, Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Store will pay an official visit to China from September 9 to 11th. Please raise your question.
您刚刚发布了
CCTV, you just announced Norwegian Prime Minister Store's upcoming visit to China. Could you share with us the program and China's expectation of the visit? During Prime Minister Store's visit, President Xi Jinping will meet with him, and Premier Li Qiang and Chairman Zhao Leji will have talks and meet with him respectively. The two sides will have an in-depth exchange of views on bilateral relations and issues of mutual interest. Norway is one of the first Western countries to recognize the new China. This year marks the 70th anniversary of our diplomatic ties. China highly values its relations with Norway. We hope that through this visit, the two sides will carry forward traditional friendship, consolidate political mutual trust, advance green transition, and work for a sustained, sound, and steady bilateral relationship. Next one, please. Kyoto News. Last May, Japanese and Chinese defense authorities established the hotline of maritime and area communication mechanism. And this is very conducive to increasing the risk control for the two sides. Could you share with us the importance of the hotline?
I agree with you. The direct hotline between China and Japanese defense authorities as a part of a maritime and area communication mechanism is a concrete measure to deliver on the important common understandings between the leaders of the two countries and is useful addition to the communication channels and is also conducive to peace and stability in the region.
你好，谢谢发言人。中外卫视记者提问。
China Arab TV. As the FOCAC summit is being held, we noted that events like Conference of Chinese and African Entrepreneurs are being held. PetroChina and other Chinese energy companies conducted cooperation with African countries in various fields, contributing greatly to local socio-economic development. What's your view of the prospects of China-Africa energy cooperation?
As for the cooperation between enterprises of China and Africa, I would refer you to competent authorities and companies. Let me say that the energy cooperation is an important part of China-Africa cooperation, and China has deepened cooperation with Africa in recent years through technology transfer and so on. And China has delivered several hundreds of clean energy and green development projects in Africa and helped African countries enhance energy security. And China-Africa Energy Cooperation will contribute to the green, low-carbon, and high-quality development of Africa. And it has a good driving force and will truly help the development of Africa.
下一个问题。
Next question, please.
谢谢发言人。我先是记者提。
RIA Novosti. An exclusive report of RIA shows that despite opposition of DJI, Kiev continued to purchase Chinese-made drones through subsidiaries of Poland companies and private businessmen. What's your comment?
I'm not aware of the specific situation.
I'm not aware of what you mentioned, but I can tell you that China strictly controls the export of civilian drones and military dual-use articles and opposes using civilian drones for military purposes. Next one, please.
You have news agency. It is
news agency is reported that DBRK women's national basketball team player Park King-ya joined Chinese women's professional basketball team in June this year, but she returned to DBRK 1 month later. Chinese embassy in the United States said they didn't know about the specifics and said that the Chinese government will strictly and fully implement UN Security Council's resolution on the DPRK. Is these two things related?
I'm not aware of the situation you mentioned. Next question, please.
Thank you. Question from AFP. I want.
法新社，我想问一问，纽约州州长前幕僚孙文被捕，他涉嫌充当中国政府代理人，并从中获利了数百万美元。中方对此有何评论？
了解你提到的有关情。
I have no information to provide, and I will not comment on the domestic cases in the United States. But I would oppose the smearing.
好的，谢谢发言人。北京日报记者提问。
Beijing Daily, we noted that Africa has long been beset by war, hunger, terrorism, among other security challenges. President Xi Jinping stressed the need to build a China-Africa community with a shared future that enjoys common security. Could you share with us China's effort and what has been accomplished in its cooperation with Africa in this field? Realizing lasting peace and common security is the common aspiration of the Chinese and African people. Helping each other on security issues is very much essential for building a high-level China-Africa community with a shared future. China put forward the Global Security Initiative and has taken an active part in the UN's peacekeeping operations, mediation efforts on hotspot issues in Africa, and efforts to facilitate dialogue between regional countries on Sahel, the Horn of Africa, and the Great Lakes region issues. China supports Africa in capacity building and has provided emergency food assistance to Africa. Peace and security will be a major agenda topic of FOCAC Beijing Summit. We look forward to working with African countries to implement the Global Security Initiative, address security challenges, and promote world peace and development. Next one, please.
Question from Bloomberg.
彭博社，斯威士兰是唯一一个没有参加中非合作论坛的非洲国家。2018年时任的外交部部长助理陈晓东告诉记者，他认为让斯威士兰加入中非大家庭的目标可以在不久的将来实现，但6年后过去了，情况并非如此。外交部对于中斯关系的看法如何？斯威士兰加入中非大家庭的这一目标是否能否实现？您能否描述一下现在的中斯关系，从政治和经济角度来描述一下？谢谢。
世界上只有
There's but one China in the world. Taiwan is an inalienable part of Chinese territory, and this is the common will shared by the international community. African countries uphold the One China principle and believe the cooperation with China is conducive to the development of their countries. Eswatini's relationship with the so-called Taiwan authorities is not beneficial for its own interest. We believe that it will make the right decision that follows the trend of history. Next question, please.
Question from Antara.
安塔拉，关于全球南方合作，印度尼西亚在2024年的9月1日至3日举办了第2届印度尼西亚非洲论坛，旨在促进发展中国家公平包容发展。中国认为中非合作论坛是中非开展全球南方合作的典范。考虑到非洲国家是什么 让非洲大陆认为这种全球南方合作如此重要？
First of all, China's cooperation with Africa has always been upholding the principle of sincerity, real result, affinity, and good faith, and it has been characterized by sincerity, fairness, win-win cooperation, and so on. We have implemented the fruit of the FOCAC and promoted the development of Africa and China, providing solid benefits for the people of the two sides, and laid a solid ground for the construction of a high-level China-Africa community with a shared future. As a part of the Global South, China supports those countries to achieve their real rejuvenation, and we believe that we are willing to help the sustainable peace and sustainable development of Africa. Next question, please.
Reuters. U.S. Presidential Climate Envoy Johann Podesta visited China. What major topics will the two sides talk about? Could you share with us the possible agreements that will be reached by the two sides? And how will the U.S. elections in October affect these discussions?
As for this question, I would refer you to the competent authorities.
下一个问题。
Next question, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Are there any other questions? This marks the end of today's press conference. Thank you.